to another installment of Aaron Speaks. It's my new mini series. It's really just me practicing using my voice. Part of my plan for this channel is to share some of my own knowledge around creative technology in many different forms. For me, that includes things like the Adobe suite of literal creative design software, but for me that also includes things like human design, which has been incredibly helpful for me as a tool. And I think I have always had an inclination towards inner exploration, self-exploration. I think that's really common for a lot of queer kids, honestly. I think when you from a young age grow up with this realization that you're different than the people around you, it sets you on a path of exploration, or at least it did for me. And so I do also want to talk about my queerness and my transgender experience of transition, of change, of courage, of creativity, and a lot of things I've never really spoken about before. That's what inspired this Aaron Speaks series, really, is just to give me an opportunity to speak about some things. I think that's part of what I'm feeling now, is that urge to just speak about some things that I haven't had an opportunity to speak about, and it just kept coming back to me to put it on YouTube, because I've received so much value from people just speaking their truths on this platform and sharing it. And I think I've resisted it for a really long time because I didn't see the point in it. But I do think I'm now thinking of it in a different way. I'm coming at that from a more intentional place and really creating a plan about the content that I want to share, and also at the same time give myself an opportunity to speak and use my voice, which ties back into my human design. And I want to share a little bit more about my unique experience as a 5/1 ego manifester in the human design system. So human design is a big part of the content that I'm creating here. Design in general is a big topic of conversation for me. I am a professional graphic designer. I'm in the process of changing the language that I use to describe my work. The title I am currently using is creative strategist, which feels much more appropriate. It feels like a better depiction of what I do now in my work, which is not just creating aesthetically pleasing graphics, which I still do. Now there's also this strategic creative problem solving that is more relevant in the work that I'm doing now. And I'm a teacher. I teach, and as I have embraced the professor label in my work also, I feel like there is this teaching element that wants to come through, and that the thing I know most to teach about is design, whether that is human design or graphic design. And so I am leaning into those areas that I have experience around. And I think I also put my transition experience in that too, of experiencing change at a really visceral level, in a very multi-dimensional level, and navigating change and embracing change and flowing with the inevitability of change. And my own creative process and how I navigate my creative flow. So I think these are all the sort of topics that are wanting to come through. And I started the first 2 episodes talking about AI, and originally I thought that I was going to do like the first 3 or 4 episodes just about AI, and I do think I have more to say about that creative technology as well. I want to speak more about that. I'm not necessarily going to plan when those things are going to come out. I just want to flow with my creative urge in these Aaron Speaks videos and create the time and space and just see what comes out. But I know that what is going to come out is going to fall into one of those categories. It's going to be about creativity, it's going to be about change, it's going to be about design on some level. I do feel like these are the things that are wanting to come through me right now. So we'll see. This is a creative exploration, this whole Aaron Speaks adventure. I'm excited to speak more. I'm excited to speak more to you and hopefully create some value in this space. I did want to share one specific thought today, one specific contemplation that I'm having. I've been curious if I would speak about religion or politics in this space, and I feel like Probably not, because it doesn't seem fun. It doesn't seem like something I want to do. But it does not escape me that I am using this time and space Sunday mornings where historically I have felt oppressed or suppressed. I felt like my voice was shut down in this time and space. And now I'm using this time and space to freely express myself. It's a time that I have alone, all to myself, which is the only time all week, really, that I have a significant, like, more than an hour of time to myself. Because my mom goes to church on Sunday mornings, the same church that I was raised in and terrified of, and it did not instill feelings of, unconditional love in me growing up. It was something that was a source of fear and shame and guilt, bad things. I have a lot of trauma. In fact, my last therapist said I would probably have PTSD because of the experience of growing up in the church and all the ways it impacted me emotionally and mentally and spiritually, and put me on a different path of self-exploration. That also, I talked about before how queer kids especially, I think, are inclined to go within and search for answers, and to really want to know more about themselves as human people and explore themselves. And that was certainly the case for me, because it felt like religion was not a possibility for me in terms of finding and forging my own inner relationship with the divine, or with God, or with source, or the universe, or whatever language you want to wrap around that notion, that idea of something greater than ourselves. So it set me on a different path, because it felt like the path of my people, of my family, this religious ideology that was so all-consuming for the people around me, was not a possibility for me. So I do find it interesting that I'm using this space now where my mom goes to church and goes to worship in that same way, with those same beliefs, and I stay here because I am still on my own path, but it's not that path. And so I stay here, and usually this is a sacred time for me. It is still a time of worship. It just looks different now. So I think it's interesting that I'm using this time to create and to speak, to express myself, when historically I absolutely could not express my truth during this time. And obviously that time would spill over into other aspects of my life where I felt in general I could not express my truth. So yes, I'm using my Sunday mornings to film these Aaron Speaks, because they are coming from the heart. They are me speaking my truth in this. Now, some of these Aaron Speaks are going to be more vulnerable, so I feel safest right now to speak freely on Sunday mornings. If I can, get the dogs adjusted to me actually talking out loud and not just being in silence for these few hours every Sunday morning. I'm excited to create more and to capture more, to share more about all the things. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support, your interest, and I hope to share more value, more ideas, more impact. Much love, more so. Bye.